Well, the Sweet 16 games are over. We now know who's in the Elite Eight. You can check out and then there were 8 article on Draft Utopia where we'll break down the final 8 teams for each game. And I've got to look at some stuff for Tuesday. I'm thinking with the new series moving to Spreecast, I'm just thinking about focusing on video content for that and uploading it to our Draft Utopia server, maybe making an independent Spreecast page so you can just check out all of our videos and our video content on that rather than the YouTube videos. But for now, you've got this. You've got these 4 games, and each different game had a theme. Tennessee and Michigan, the theme was about Michigan hitting three-pointers. They went 5 for 5 on their first 3-pointers. Tennessee went 3 for 3. After that, Tennessee went into a scoring drought. They weren't the same team, and the Michigan Wolverines responded strongly. Glenn Davis and the Wolverines put a huge emphasis on ball distribution and making sure everybody was communicating on the same page. The logistics were there, and the Michigan Wolverines want to make back-to-back Final Four appearances, and they're still in the big dance. Connecticut and Iowa State. Connecticut wins. I like the fact that Connecticut just had control of this game from start to finish. And people say, oh, it's a me game, it's a me game. No, it's not. It's a team game. Basketball is a team game, and anybody that any sport's a team sport, but what am I thinking here? Connecticut had the better team play because DeAndre Daniels had 27 points and 10 rebounds, and Shabazz Napier was 4 for 6 from three-point range, hit with 19 points. He had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and he really came into his own as that complete point guard. He might not have the size or the measurables of a starting guard in the NBA, but he displayed the tools tonight. The points, the fast break transition, and Napier had an awesome game. And if it was a me game, Iowa State would have won because Dustin Hogue scored 34 points, but nobody else showed up. Sure, you had the guards score 12 and 16 points respectively, but the other guys had 7 points. There was a forward with 7 points. There was a guard with 7 points on the bench, and the rest of the players had 0 points, and that made the difference because Connecticut wanted it more. Like, you could just tell. Philip Nolan did horrible, and Connecticut hasn't had a center since Andre Drummond left, but there's more to it than that. And I like the fact that Connecticut showed a lot of initiative. Does either one of these teams deserve to be in the Final Four? Hell no. Why? Because the Michigan State versus Virginia game was epic, and these teams relied a lot on their individuals to get the points and win the games. But maybe one of them will pull the upset. That's the beauty of basketball. Kentucky, this game was all about momentum because it looked like Louisville was going to win this game at one point, and Kentucky just showed a lot of heart at the end of the game. And last-second points like that make such a huge difference, especially when it's a team like Kentucky that's already won the tournament so recently. So getting a clutch play like that against Louisville could be huge because they're not in the weak bracket, but they're going to have the easier Final Four matchup. Let's say Kentucky ended up beating Michigan and they went to the Final Four. The Kentucky Wildcats would be facing either Wisconsin or Arizona. Florida is likely going to draw Michigan State, and anybody who's filled in a bracket, most people have picked Florida versus Michigan State in their Final Four brackets. So that's still going according to plan, barring any Dayton Elite Eight upset or we see Connecticut pull the upset, which wouldn't surprise me, but it's not about what you're thinking. It's just the whole perception of the way each team's played. So everybody in Kentucky scored a minimum of 14 points except for James Young. James Young fouled out. He only had 9 points. So besides James Young, everybody else did well, and the bench did horrible. Poitras had 6 points. He did well on the bench, but That's not really saying much because everybody else failed to score off the bench, and Kentucky starters, they want that. They want to cut down the nets now. It's like, okay, we will do nothing in the regular season, and then once we get into the tournament, we will start playing good basketball. We will come together like the cast in Space Jam, and we will win because we're the Kentucky Wildcats. That's right, we're going to take the regular season for granted, and once we get into the tournament, we're going to win. And they're winning. That's the best part. That's what I love about it. Because if they go far this year, the NCAA is going to do some investigating on Calipari. They're going to go Big Brother NSA on John Calipari, and something's going to happen. Like, there's going to be another recruiting scandal, or something's just going to happen, because for Calipari to have this much success, especially with the team that struggled for most of the season up till the tournament, it's just not fair. But Calipari's just that effective of a head coach, and life's not fair. And Kentucky came into this tournament with a mindset where we're going to alter the way we play. We're going to alter the perception, because I had this team losing to Wichita State, and after they beat Wichita State, you knew, okay, the Wildcats are for reals in this tournament. They're for real, and we were fools to doubt them. People at ESPN were right for picking them, and it's not surprising that Kentucky won and built all this momentum. At the same time, you're kind of just disgusted by the fact that they keep winning. But we have to talk about it, and Kentucky Wildcats just brought team fundamentals to the table. Aaron Harrison hit three-pointers. He was 3 for 7, and free throws was another important talking point in the game. You look at Kentucky starters, only missed a combined total of 3 free throws, and that's excluding the 2 for 3 by Poitras on the free throw line. So you exclude his 22 for 27. That's 20 for 24. That's pretty good for the starters. So Dakari Johnson had 15 points. The Connecticut Center at the 0 points. But Kentucky, their team play, their last second play, just wanted to build off the emphasis of momentum. And Michigan State's win was about affirmative action. Michigan State's win was about affirmative action because Dawson's a guy that he rarely showed up all season, but Brandon Dawson, he has his first big game against the Virginia Cavaliers in a critical situation with 24 points and 10 rebounds. And tonight it was about the individual, because Keith Appling got held to 2 points and Gary Harris got held to 6 points. And those are their NBA caliber guards. Sure, Adrian Payne had a nice game, 16 points, 5 rebounds, a steal, 2 blocks. He avoided foul trouble, but Brandon Dawson had no fouls. So really, Dawson won this game for the Michigan State Spartans, and you can't discount what he accomplished. Like, Dawson showed up at the right time, so I like the way he played tonight. That's really all there is to it. And Virginia's guards, Brogdon and Joe Harris, 17 points each. Good season, boys. Thanks for playing, but you never had a chance against Michigan State because Michigan State's been clutch this year. They beat Kentucky when they were number 1 and maintained the lead for the entire game. They played well against Ohio State on national TV on ESPN. Michigan State's been a clutch team, and because you've seen them play at a clutch level on a consistent basis multiple times in the regular season, they're just a safe bet to make things happen because they have Izzo as their head coach. And like Calipari, Izzo knows how to reach out to his student athletes. So Michigan State final could still happen. But I have Florida winning my bracket, and I want to see the SEC championship rematch. Florida and Kentucky. That would be an epic. Instead of seeing the SEC championship rematch or the Big Ten championship rematch, okay, no conference biases, but like I think a Michigan versus Michigan State rematch in the Big Ten championship rematch in the title game, or a Florida Kentucky rematch would be fun. I'm just speculating here. I'm throwing it out because conference championship brackets usually matter. Like, you usually see two teams in the conference play for the conference championship, and if the conference championship really mattered, then these teams wouldn't play again in the finals for the whole title. And I just think that'd be cool rematch. And Michigan State beat Michigan to win the Big Ten too. So I think that would be an awesome rematch. But yeah, check out Draft Utopia, and then there were 8. The Elite 8 matchups, in-depth content of each team's tournament progress.